but my crypto guest says that the next 1 million years is all about Bitcoin and crypto. Joining me now, Bitcoin expert Layah Heilpern, along with Euro Pacific Capital Chief Economist Peter Marisa. I'm glad to have you both. Let me start with you, Layah. Bitcoin, taking it on the chin here a little bit, and some of the arguments, uncorrelated, hedge against inflation, a flight to safety, those haven't worked lately. What do you say to people who are saying maybe it was overhyped?
Well, actually, I think it's exactly working. Put the price away just for a second. If you actually understand the fundamental value of Bitcoin, it's working perfectly. Let's go to Canada, for example. The government behaved so authoritarian and decided to freeze the bank accounts of freedom protesters. As a result, people can literally start trading peer-to-peer in Bitcoin. You can't trade peer-to-peer in gold. Bitcoin is literally an alternative monetary system. It really is a medium of exchange. Nobody is trading when, for goods and services in gold. Also, a really important point to make as well is when it comes to donating and actually helping these people. People have donated nearly $500,000, it's probably more, in Bitcoin to the Canadian truckers. And then also if you go to Ukraine, it's also very important to realize that the same kind of capital controls are happening.
Right, Peter?
The same type of capital controls are happening. And so people are actually donating. I think it's around $4.4 million.
Wow. Peter, I mean, and to be honest, gold hasn't done much in the last decade. It's looking better these days, but the same arguments that Layah just laid out, you used to use for buying gold. Has it just shifted? I mean, is the rationale for wanting to have an alternative to the dollar still there, but maybe it's no longer gold?
No, we definitely need alternatives to the dollar, and there are many ways to hedge against inflation, but Bitcoin is not one of them. Bitcoin is not going to hedge against anything. It's just a highly speculative token. It's basically a digital pyramid Ponzi scheme. It went up for a while. But people are using it primarily to gamble with. People are betting that the price is going to go up, except now the price is falling. In fact, year over year, the price of Bitcoin is down, and it may be going a lot lower. It doesn't have any fundamental intrinsic value like gold. It's not a business. It doesn't pay a dividend like a stock. It's not real estate. Right. You can't rent it out. It's not a bond. It's like a digital Beanie Baby, except you can't snuggle up with it. It doesn't look cute on your bed.
But what's the argument for buying gold, though? I mean, okay, you laid out the reasons you don't like Bitcoin, but what's the argument now at this stage for buying gold, that has been an underperformer for a long time?
Well, not a long time, because remember, from 2001 to 2011, the price of gold went up from under 300 to almost 2,000. So when you have that kind of move over a decade,
and from 2011 to 2021, it didn't do much.
Correct. It's consolidated, and now it's getting ready for another big run-up as a result of all the inflation that has been created over the past decade and the inflation that's going to be created during the coming decade. I think gold is very cheap relative to the amount of dollars in circulation. I think the technical picture looks very bright for gold, as does the fundamental picture. I think we've now had a big blow-up in inflation. For a while, people thought there was no inflation. Then they thought it was transitory, and now they think the Fed is going to fight it. They're wrong again. The Fed can't fight inflation because we have too much debt. Inflation is going to get worse, and people are going to look for hedges, and gold is going to be one of the hedges they choose, not Bitcoin.
Layah?
Well, I think you said Bitcoin isn't really doing anything. Right now, Bitcoin is actually saving people's lives. People are fleeing war-torn Ukraine. They're actually leaving to go to Poland. Are they taking their gold bullion bars? Absolutely not. And even if they did get to the border, people are absolutely corrupt. If they get to the border, authorities could say, sorry, can I have one of those gold bullion bars and only let you in that case? So you don't really want to be snuggling up with your Bitcoin. Nobody wants to know that you own Bitcoin. That's the fundamental value. You can flee tyranny. And right now, you can flee, lockdowns. You can flee vaccine mandates. Whatever it is your government is throwing at you, you can flee that with the keys in your head. Nobody needs to know what you own, and I certainly will not be fleeing any kind of dangerous, tyrannical government with gold bullion bars.
Peter?
But the vast majority of people who are buying Bitcoin are not buying it for that reason. They're buying Bitcoin because they think the price is going to go up. And when they stop thinking the price is going to go up, they're going to sell. And when enough people want to sell and there's nobody to buy, the price is going to collapse. And, this whole argument that it's a store of value is going to evaporate because you can't store something you don't have. Bitcoin has no underlying value like gold, which is a metal, a valuable metal that's used for all sorts of things. Bitcoin isn't used for anything other than speculation. And it's only being used for speculation because people think it's going to go up. Well, if they stop thinking that because it's going down, then there is no reason to own it. Yes, you come up with these small examples, but that's a tiny fraction of the demand for Bitcoin. And once the price crashes, that demand will go away too.
Layah?
But you've been saying the price is going to crash for, years now. I follow you on Twitter. I've been seeing what you've been saying. And, I mean, if you look at the last 5 years, gold is actually up only around 39%. It's not really done anything, whereas Bitcoin is up 3,200%. Perhaps we live in this highly new era and a new time where my generation, millennials, actually do see value in something which is digital rather than something which is tangible.
Well, all young generations make mistakes. Bitcoin has crashed many times over the last 5 years. It's just come back every time.
It comes back pretty strong. We got to leave it there.
But it doesn't always come back, Charles. One time it's going to crash and never come back.
All right, let's leave it there. Two passionate folks. Peter, Layah, thank you both very much.